And so the common story is chase, 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 back away, back away, back away. Like this is the anxious attachment and this is the dismissive avoidant. And so the questions normally come from the anxious attachment. They don't normally come from the dismissive avoidant. Why? Because they're dismissing and they're avoiding. That's why. So we're really talking to the couple, which is really quite common. It's a complementary wound trauma bonding type of commonality that in insecure attachment, the anxious attachment is attracted to the dismissive avoidant. And so we're really kind of speaking to the dismissive avoidant because they're probably going to be the instigator and the initiator of a lot of these things. It would be great if the dismissive avoidant did. And if you're the dismissive avoidant, you know that, hey, come on, engage, and everybody's going to be rooting for you. We also have to understand that the dismissive avoidant was trained, conditioned to be that way. And they often can look back at their childhood and go, yeah, but no, I didn't have any trauma. Yeah, but there was, somebody didn't protect your heart. Somebody there was not an emotional reckoning of some sort. Like your internal world and your external world were not coherent. And so you shut down a part of yourself as a protective mechanism. And now that's your mode of operation. And we call that insecure attachment. It's the way that you were conditioned. And you will show up in a particular way in relationships that will often not feel like enough to someone else that is secure. And then when that individual that is secure wants to, or God forbid, the anxious attachment overly helping you understand what you're not bringing or how you're not being secure in the relationship, then the defense mechanism is generically to dismiss and to move away. That's the mechanism. And so what are we trying to do? We're trying to train the neural system of that individual to move towards. Now, with the anxious attachment, it's the opposite way. We're trying to get them to begin dismissing and avoiding a little bit on their own when they feel so responsible that they have to tweak all the knobs and fix everything, right? No, it's really more like, okay, you and I need to discuss because anything that's not discussed will never be addressed. But if you can't do that right now, then I'm going to separate myself from the situation so that you can have the time or the space to regulate yourself. But then we need to continue this discussion. And there needs to be a continue. It's not just a, oh, we stopped talking about it and it went away. It's a no, it's if you don't discuss it, it won't actually be addressed. That's what normal, healthy, human beings do. And that's going to come up in any relationship. And so we separate ourselves from the situation. That gives them an opportunity to re-engage. And if they want to re-engage and they can't re-engage, well, maybe the dismissive avoidant, this is a time for them to potentially seek help in retraining their neural system. And we have so many ways now to somatically downregulate the way the body is protecting itself because it's no longer necessary. And so we want that particular defense mechanism to stand down. We don't want to disconnect. And often it feels like it's happening subconsciously because it is. And so there are ways that we can be with those particular mechanisms to rewire those. And a part of it is also understanding it in such a way that you can stay present with it, not moving away. So you begin to gain that strength in the neural system of, hey, I stayed and it wasn't actually horrible. Or if it was horrible, maybe that's pointing to a somatic process that needs to be downregulated in the body. The body keeps score. There are ways to downregulate the charge, the trigger of a story to where it's just a story. It always was just a story. Everything is always just a story. There is what is, which is always neutral, and there's a story of what is. The story of what is never neutral. And our goal is to begin seeing reality as neutral. It's just what it is. And when we can then begin doing kind of simple math problems within a relationship to understand what will work and what will not work. And then we start doing what will work. And that's understanding the mechanics of the energetics of a relationship so that we can be the engineer and begin putting our thumb on the scale to get what we want.